Hello tankers, and welcome to Tschazam's first World of Tanks PS4 commentary video. For my first video I have chosen the German Tier 10 heavy tank, the E100. This is one of my favorite tanks in the game and likely one of the most powerful Tier 10 vehicles available to date in World of Tanks. It has managed to avoid power creep in this game, and what we mean by power creep is a lot of times when World of Tanks introduces new tank lines to this game, they often end up being the favorites and outshining some of the original vehicles that were introduced to this game. E100, one of the first Tier 10 heavies ever available, and still the king in my eyes and many others. Let's begin by talking over strategy here for the E100. You can see me just putting on cruise control and driving straight to the front lines. This is what you should always be doing in an E100. This is its purpose in life. If you begin to sit back and snipe with this tank, you're going to see you're going to have issues. Flanks are going to fall for your team, and you're just not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Very beginning, I switched to premium round for this tank, and reason for that being is that we were facing a platoon that in the prior match was spamming premium rounds against us, and it was time to do it in like kind. Right here, I'm moving to this rock face. This is the first flank that I wanted to control since the enemy already had tanks here. Stop, got a free shot on this Waffle E100. You got to take it if you can. See here, the accuracy of the E100 at range, not even close. And that's something that's pretty common. Heat rounds end up being far worse because of the way that the trajectory of the shell goes. AP rounds can be more effective at range, but still don't try it. T-57 having moved to flank me here, immediately began to redirect and get my tank in the proper angle to bounce that shot and get my tracks to eat it. You can see here I've got enemies on both sides of this rock, T-57 Heavy and T-54, two dangerous tanks. However, the E100 is one of the few tanks in this game that can manage this very well. You can see me split the difference between the two, keep myself angled between both of them, and neither one was going to have a good shot or easily penetration shot into my armor. Here, moving around rock faces, we got two choices. We can reverse side scrape this or pull out slowly. The T-54 doesn't have the penetration to take me at this angle. I know the Waffle is back there. However, again, if he's going to try to take shots at my lower plate or my turret at that range, it's not an easy penetration. You can see the Waffle weighs 4 shots into me. He's already almost used his entire clip and done no damage to my tank. We're going to move forward at the same angle. We know the T-57 Heavy is there. We know the T-54 is there. We need to take these guys out so we can move on to the next flank. The Waffle does get one shell into me. However, you're eventually going to have to eat some shells from them if you're going to want to try to do what we need to here and get around. I want to move aggressively onto them because I need to take these guys out before the other road comes into me. You can see the T-54 did put one shell into my lower plate as I was directing to essentially re-angle my armor for him, and that's going to happen sometimes with the E100. You take a risk by getting to move to a re-angled position. In this case, he had a direct shot straight onto my lower plate. It's going to be the weakest point of the E100. Same thing, another weak point of the E100 is its turret face. One of the more unusual heavy tanks in the game where front towards enemy is not at all what you want to do with it. It can make the playstyle a little bit more difficult because you're having to redirect and re-aim shots with a vehicle that does not have a quick aim time. So you need to be good about knowing when you can pre-aim a shot and when you can't. In this case, we needed that VKB gone. He's the one spotting us. That Waffle I know is not moved. It's very likely he's going to stay there the whole match. And I can't cross this gap until I'm dark, because otherwise he's going to lay rounds into me. If I were to become tracked here, I would have probably had to eat 3 shells. Now, as soon as I go dark, I take that risk knowing that I'm going to be pretty much halfway through that opening before he even spots me, and that gives me a much greater chance to get through without damage. I do take 1 hit from him, but I wanted to get to this corner because I wanted to support this corner, because this is one of the best corners in the game for the E100 to sit. You can see there the T-30 comes up, wants a shell on me, paid dearly for it. I immediately turn my turret away from him. At that point, with my angle, with my hull angled and my turret facing away, it's extremely unlikely that he would ever get a shell through me, even with a premium round. You can see here what I often do is aim my turret towards the corner of my hull, and that is a very effective angle for the U-100 to bounce shells off of its turret. You need to be careful when you have opponents that are loading premium shells against you. Reason for that being is that essentially at times you will have to over-angle your turret face, because even though you have your turret angled, the turret face is very susceptible to premium rounds directly through the front. Now, here is a very classic example of a side scrape on an E100. I have my lower plate hidden, I have my turret turned and my hull turned. I don't face my tank towards the enemy until the last second. Here you can see me creep and peek a shot at the T-95. I see he's aiming for me. Immediately turn my turret face around before he has a chance to put a shell into my turret face. Boom, right there, T-95 is upset. He goes for one of my weak points on the tank, which is the bar on top of the E100. However, it's very small and very unlikely that they're going to get that correct shot on you. There are times where your turret face will be angled, while they still will get a shot through that upper bar, and unfortunately it's just one of those RNG luck shots that they're going to get on you eventually. Here I have my platoon mate flanking the T-95 to get him to turn, and as soon as he does, game over for him. You can see me pull up my big map here. I often do, in fact, exclusively use the small map you see in the corner. Reason for that being, even though many people are opposed to it, is it keeps me focused on the area around my tank. Many times I find people can end up opening up, getting that large map up, and they lose focus of what's happening around them. Here, 5,600 damage, 7,300 blocked. This is a very typical game in the E100, easily attainable with the right angles. Hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck, tankers.